Hey, welcome back. This is Denzel, and
Denzel and Dex, man, Hurt So Good Fitness.
we're back at it. Try to give you guys a little bit more information. We're gonna try to do a series for you guys, just with the basic fundamentals of what you need to think about and know day one, stepping into the gym.
What they said, man, is it day one or is it one day? You know, no, it sounds corny, man. I know a lot of y'all done heard that already, but ultimately, man, that's what we want to speak to today. We're here to talk to those, even though we a little bit past January 1st, we want to talk to those who are, it might be their first day going into the gym. We want to speak to the day one people.
Those, if you got a New Year's resolution, if you just decided to have a change in life and pace and kick it into gear and whip yourself into shape, what you need to do and the essentials to have when you're going day one stepping into the gym. All right. First thing to always think about is pre-planning. I understand there's a lot of mistakes that happen when you decide to go day one into the gym and you don't have an outline. You walk in there and you see all the equipment, and sometimes it can be a little intimidating going into a gym and you see a bunch of people who already know what they're doing in there and you have no idea. So first thing to do is pre-plan. Think about what body part you want to focus on day one in the gym. If you can break it down to what body parts I'm going to do prior to stepping in there, because the last thing you want to do is go into the gym and do a full body workout, because that's going to be your first workout and that's going to be your only workout for the week.
Mm-hmm.
And because you're going to hit that, you're going to try to do a bunch of different exercises, you're going to go back home and you're just going to be beat up and you're not going to want to step back in the gym. So pre-plan. And then after you pre-plan, the thing is to think about 3 or 4 exercises to do and be done. 3 to 4 exercises. Because if you go any further than that, you're already tearing into new muscle and you're going to be trying to tear the old muscle down and build new. You're going to be sore. Anything to add that?
Oh yeah, like, man, touching base with that, like, just, you don't need like a huge variety, you know, steak and potatoes, you know, basically.
Yes.
I'm not talking about food on the, you know, table, not to throw y'all off, but basically, to point out to what you were saying, when you get you a good 3, 4, 5, you know, different little workouts, man, that you got going, stick to those, right? Because especially if you're just starting off, you want to perfect that before you even think about trying to go on to something different. So number one, like I say, we want to try to do our best to master those and hone in and focus. Another piece of advice I want to offer is to take your time. Take your time. So one thing with any of the people I've ever worked with that I always try to offer up is, man, you got to close your eyes sometime. Because a lot of times, man, you in this place again, especially when it's a new arena, a new realm for you, so much going on. When you too focus on what everybody else is doing and what they got going, it takes away from you getting what you came for. So a lot of times, man, people, I tell them, hey, close your eyes. I've been doing this for a long time, and I still use this myself, right? Just because mind muscle connection, it'll probably be a term that has came up, man, throughout some of the videos maybe you watch. You'll hear from a lot of trainers, but to really hone in on that focus, man, close your eyes and really focus on, be intentional about what you're doing, right? So yeah, that's my steak and potatoes to that. Man, another piece of advice, man, I would offer you too is, man, well, actually you had already made mention of it, but man, come in already with that plan.
Yep.
Like, come in with a plan. Because one thing is, man, a lot of people, man, who show up without a sense of direction, basically, it's not gonna last long. Right. So anything you do, man, when there's no real sense of direction, when you don't have a why to your what, it's going to be very short-lived. So always make sure, like I say, you try to do your best to see what it is that your goal is and what you need to do to go after and target that goal.
Yeah. And another thing is, like, don't get used to seeing like those advanced lifters and thinking you're going to mimic them, right? So the basic fundamentals of what I started with, I believe he did too. When we first start working out, the basic fundamentals, like you said, keep it basic. Start out 3 sets of 10 on your exercises, especially if this is your first time or it's been a long time since you've been back in the gym. What you want to do is you want to wake up your body. You want to wake up those muscles. 3 sets of 10. So just for a hypothetical scenario, you say, this is going to be my first day in the gym, and what I would then focus on is my shoulders. Let's start with the basics. You can either come in there and say, hey, I'm going to do a dumbbell shoulder press, or I can do a barbell shoulder press. And I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do my first exercise after I warm up, do 3 sets of 10 standing or seated shoulder press. Then I'm going to go to my next exercise and I'm going to either do 3 sets of 10 rear delt flies or cable face pulls. After you do 3 sets of 10 on that, I can go to my 3 sets of 10 lateral raises, and then after that I can go my 3 sets of 10 front raises, and then I'm done. You keep it basic and simple, and that can be day 1, right? So then when you're ready to come into the gym tomorrow, you're just not tore up from a full body exercise and don't want to do it. You're at least fresh enough to where you can go kid it in. Because the main focus and the main thing we want you guys to keep in mind is it has to be consistency. Consistency is key. And if you do an exercise to where tomorrow you can't be consistent, it does you no good.
And last piece of advice I got for you, man, is really let your day 1 be day 1. If you go into thinking about, the future lives, man, all within that moment, it just takes away from what it is that you're after, that day. Let day 1 be day 1. Don't get too caught up with trying to add so much to the plate, because man, number 1 up here, like I said, man, when you take your mind away from the original intended goal for that day, then you're already kind of scrambling things up a bit. So let day 1 be day 1. Focus on that. Be present, basically.
Yep. Last thing I have to say is know what you want in mind, right? Know what you want, and then we'll talk about how to reach those goals in another video. But you still have to have an idea of what you want, whether it's still looking at another influencer or anything else like that. You still have to have some kind of a picture in mind, because when you can put it in mind here, then you can actually make it happen for yourself. Okay, there's still a lot of influencers, fitness people that are around that I look and say, oh man, I would want to do something like that or be like that or have shoulders or something like that. It's okay to do that, you know what I mean? So then you kind of have a goal in mind of where you want to reach. All right,
man. Y'all got any questions, man? If we can elaborate on anything else more, just that much more on what we just talked about here today, man, drop a comment. Any suggestions, whatever the case may be, man, let us know, man. Give us some feedback to that way we'll be able to converse with y'all a little bit, man. So that way, man, we could all try to get to where we're going together, So, So Good Fitness. I'm Dex.
Denzel.
Man, y'all be blessed.